Good morning. We wanted to share a meet and greet that we attended last night. I have never attended a political candidates meet and greet type event prior to last night. Have you ever attended?
It was a new one for me, and I don't, even before I got there, I was kind of surprised. It was in a commercial shopping complex at the Dallas County Republican headquarters, and it was actually a very small, intimate venue. Very small
that's
space.
what I was going to say.
I was thinking, like high school auditorium or hundreds of people. But I walked in. Even after signing in, the first thing I asked the guy was, "Is this all the chairs you got? I mean, you're going to fill this place up quick."
Yeah, and it turned out it was like standing room only. And the doors were kind of open and stuff. But I had seen a little clip on, I think it was Facebook, maybe Instagram, about this candidate coming in. He's currently a congressman in Texas, and he is running for Senate. But I had not ever actually been to an event to kind of learn more about the candidate firsthand, as opposed to hearing it, through the news or reading articles or other people's opinion of the individual. I really wanted to hear about what he's looking to do if he becomes senator and takes John Cornyn's spot. John Cornyn is running.
Yeah, we hadn't mentioned the guy's name. It's Wesley Hunt.
Oh, Wesley Hunt is who we went to go see. So young guy, incredible background, very motivated individual. Has some. He's got a drive like kind of parallel to Trump a little bit. I mean,
but don't say that to him. He thinks he's still trying to catch up. He's a very humble guy, but very
firm in his beliefs.
Very assured.
Very assured.
Military background, Army. I think I heard him say Apache helicopter.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
Pilot. He was an Apache helicopter pilot.
A couple of years in Saudi Arabia. Comes from a
total military background.
Military family.
His siblings, as well as his father, and
father, retired colonel who is still alive.
75 years old.
Very intelligent. He 3 master's degrees.
Yeah.
And I think each of them not only did he go to West Point, but 3 master's degree, I think, from Cornell University. Yeah. So very, very smart guy. Very
and both
ambitious.
His siblings were at West Point.
Yep.
So very interesting. I wanted to do this also because I recently posted. We did a discussion about politicians and the corruption that exists, and so when I saw this, it was kind of on my mind to really come in and see if we can hear him firsthand, see how he sees things moving forward and what he wants to put in place in government, what he wants to get rid of in government. He is for term limits, which is something that I think we both would like to see. I don't know how you vote yourself out of a job, and that's kind of been a little bit of a running joke. They vote themselves a raise, and they also vote to continue to stay and not have term limits. So I don't know who would come in and actually say, no, we need to have term limits. And I think that is something at least one person.
Well, he said he signed a pledge for term limits.
Right.
So that he would limit himself. I don't know how many terms, but he said he would limit himself. And he brought up a good point. And the guy hosting the event is somebody that we both like and respect, Colonel Alan West.
Yes, we got a chance to meet him. He actually lives right near us. And we found that out just by accident several years back.
But he hosted the event, and both of them brought up a very good point that our country was founded on the principles that people should go and serve, and when they make laws, whatever they do, it's for the community that they came from. They serve for a limited time, then they go back to the
community and then abide by the laws.
So they are governed by the laws that they make. Part of the corruption is you get politicians that go to the D.C. area, as some would like to say the D.C. swamp. They go there, they make the laws, and they never leave. They never have to follow the laws that they've made for everybody else. They get wrapped up in a political bubble of lobbyists and someone taking care of them, somebody bringing them their coffee, doing everything for them, providing their protection, their transportation, their dress, their talking points. It becomes a bubble where it doesn't matter what they say or do, because they're never going to have to live by the laws that they dictate to the rest of us.
Right. So Wesley Hunt, who is currently a congressman in Texas, he's running for Senate. He is running against, I think I mentioned John Cornyn is the current senator, and the other person running in the Republican side is Ken Paxton, who is currently the AG of Texas. So there are 3 people in the race, but because, I was a little down about politicians in general. I've kind of had that view because of all this corruption that's come out and things that we have seen over many, many years. And it just seems like somehow it's become a norm and it just gets ignored. So it was kind of refreshing to hear from the congressman and see what vision he has and how it aligns with the current administration. And actually, he supported Trump. I think he said he was the first person that came forward to support Trump. And also, he is going to look into the AI space. And what he did share with us is that there's a little bit of partnership that's going on between the energy sector and the AI sector, where they.
The impression, though, that he was cautious in how that was
Yes.
playing out, because he understands that as important as AI is currently and moving forward, that we can't allow large corporations to suck up all the energy in any given area, because the people that live here are dependent on that energy
exactly,
as well.
Exactly.
So
there's got to be a balance.
There's got to be a balance between, to coin a phrase, giving away the farm to the big corporations, and then the rest of us sit in the dark. And we can't even use the AI because we don't have the energy to turn our computers on.
Right.
So I was impressed with how he approached that topic. Definitely impressed with his stance on Second Amendment rights. I was also impressed with the fact that he did not come out negative against anybody else. He wasn't negative.
He said he wasn't going to personally attack.
Yeah, he didn't attack Paxton. He didn't attack Cornyn. His comment was that he's a younger generation and he's got younger ideas, and that's pretty much as derogatory as it got. Was he's a younger guy.
He did say when John Cornyn first got in, though, he was like 4 years old. So he's not trying to be ageist or anything, but he is saying there needs to be continued fresh ideas coming in. So that is why he believes in the term limits and come into
not only the fresh ideas, but back to what we were talking about earlier is. You've had your time in politics. Now go back to the community and live with the laws and the rules that you make for everybody else.
Right. And Colonel West had some great questions that he was interviewing and asking the congressman. And one of the things that I wanted you to talk about a little bit is the oath that you take even at retirement to uphold.
You take the oath when you start, but most people are reminded at retirement that even though you're retired or retiring, you're still subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Mm-hmm. And they talked a little bit about the folks who are currently holding political positions that have come out.
And prior military.
Who are still subject to the UCMJ, that have come out and not been supportive of the current Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, and who have not been aligned with the Commander-in-Chief. And it's a very slippery slope because we have elections every 4 years. And I mean, I was in for 20 plus years. And one of the statements that both of them made is they served during time periods when the Commander-in-Chief, they didn't agree with everything the Commander-in-Chief was doing or his policy, but you take an oath to follow what your chain of command tells you to do. Yes, you don't follow unlawful orders, but there's a fine line between coming out and saying, I'm not doing what the Commander-in-Chief says, or I'm not doing what my boss says, I'm not doing what the chain of command says because I don't like it,
right?
And claiming an unlawful order. And for you military folks out there, you understand this a lot more than the people who have never been in the military. And for the 6 individuals to come out and do what they've done, I've got some military buddies that say, hey, they should do it. They're in their right to do it. But there's a lot of us that it does not sit well and it leaves a bad taste in our mouth. And we completely disagree with how some of these 6 people have handled their videos and their public comments about not having to follow the unlawful orders of their chain of command. It's just
the thing that got me was that you've got former military that have now moved on to other successful careers.
Who are still subject to the UCMJ.
Right. And the young people, the new, I don't want to say young, I'm not talking about the age, I'm just saying newly recruited individuals are now in the military. They're learning, they're still in that learning mode. They may look up to some of these others that have been in the military, been in leadership positions, moved on to other successful careers, and they're telling them something complete opposite of what they're in the process of learning. And I think that can cause so much confusion. It can be dangerous if you're actually in the field and your unit's out deployed and you're on a mission. To, in the middle of something, think, well, do I really want to do that order, or do I want to ignore that order? No, you can't. Not when you can't do that, and you can't break that trust. And so I think, he really touched on some of that it can be a very bad thing.
Yeah, especially, as a side note, recruiting across all the branches is at all-time highs now.
Yeah, that's right.
And to send the message that, it's okay to not do something because it's not part of your politics, or you don't agree with your boss, or you have the opportunity to question what you're being told, even though you probably don't have the entire picture of what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't know, having been there, and lots of my buddies that have been there, I'm not saying that this happens to all the personnel. Most personnel, they know their job, they do their job, they don't question. The machine runs like it's supposed to run. But if you have that 1 or 2% that are not doing what they're supposed to, that's enough to slow down or potentially hinder an entire operation.
Right. Yeah. And it goes back to what you had explained earlier. When you first are recruited and you decide to join the military, you do swear an oath. And when you retire or you're exiting the military, done your X number of years that you wanted to do, you are also reminded on the exit that you're still obligated to abide by
the Uniform Code of Military Justice.
Yeah. So very interesting that if that's the case, you're sworn in when you first start, you're reminded on the exit that you have these politicians and other people in leadership positions that were prior military are opposing or recommending to others that are in the military, still active duty, to go against the orders of their chain. The orders. Yeah. Very, yeah. Yep. So, but anyway, we digress.
I did say this to Ron a few days ago, prior to us going to the meet and greet. So it's kind of interesting. Ron said that even if you're retired, this was his spin. I haven't researched it. His spin, though, was even if you're retired, if you are receiving any benefits or assistance through the military, such as VA disability, VA compensation, pension, retirement pay, if you're receiving any benefits at all, you're subject to recall. And in my past, I actually saw an individual that had been retired for a number of years. He was recalled to active duty in order to be court-martialed for something that he had done after he had retired.
Oh my goodness.
I saw it once in my career, and I thought, and I've been in for 8 years and never even heard of it happening. And I actually saw it happen because the guy worked in my office. When I was a division officer, he was assigned to me to work in my office until they could get him processed through to stand his court-martial trial. Gosh, wow. So it's very intense there for about 30 days.
Man. So anyway, we had a good experience attending a meet and greet. It was our first one, and it was very small and not very small. There were a lot of people, but
there was 54 chairs and probably 110 people.
Yeah, so, it was a good event. I was excited to hear what Congressman Hunt had to say, and I guess I want to ask you guys: have you ever attended one of these, like to really hear firsthand from the candidate or the actual politician?
So how is it that you like to get your information for the people that you're considering voting for? Do you talk to family, friends? Do you rely on the 6x8 glossies? Do you drive by the park and see the 1,753 yard signs and billboards? Do you actually seek out and go to venues where you can hear the person be put on the spot, answer questions? Last night?
Yeah, I think that there's probably a small group of people that really, really take the time to look everywhere, go online. And I think people that were at the meet and greet, there were several that I could tell are used to attending these types of events so that they can learn and hear directly from a candidate or an individual and his views, and you can ask them questions. I think there's a lot of people, and I'll say I was probably one of those people early on that, I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but I just kind of voted on feeling. Whatever highlight I heard, through the radio when I was
Newsreel.
working, or I heard a little snippet on some TV show or news, or I saw a quick video on Facebook on an individual, and then, oh my gosh, it's all of a sudden voting time, and I'm actually kind of just going off a feeling when I see the name and I make a decision.
Or you vote on a name that you've heard a lot because you haven't heard the other people's names at
Yeah.
all. So you're like, well, I guess I should vote for Jack the Ripper because I hear his name all the time.
So I don't know, what do you guys do? How do you make your decision? Or is it something that's important to you? There might be some people out there that really just don't even bother.
And, well, I started to say, unfortunately, there's too large of a percentage of people that don't care at all and don't even show up.
Or it's not that, I don't know if they don't care, maybe they don't, but I feel like it's more of they don't feel like their vote even matters.
Yeah,
So
it's
they
not
just don't
important.
bother. They're like, I got 20 other things to do. Everybody's busy. Why bother if when I vote, it doesn't even count. It doesn't matter. So I think people just kind of blow it off. But yeah, how important do you think voting is? I mean, for the initial election, March 3rd of 2026 is going to be the voting, at least in our area. I think it's
Yep.
across the U.S. for
I think it's,
our
I think
Senate
it's,
votes and a couple other.
I think it's Texas specific.
So
I
Texas
think every
specific,
state has a,
different
I may
date.
be wrong, and some of them may also have March 3rd, but I don't think it's
It's not across the
Yeah, I
board.
don't think it's across
But
the
yeah,
board.
so we do have our next voting period. I think early voting is late February, but March 3rd.
February 17th, early voting starts. March 3rd is actual voting
Voting
day.
day.
Yep.
Yeah. So let us know what's your feedback on voting in general, politics, and how you make decisions. And do you encourage other people to vote? I mean, we try to encourage everybody to vote.
Even the people who are not going to vote the same way we vote.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the right to vote is something special, and we shouldn't throw it away because it's a rarity. So.
If you don't use it, unfortunately, you will lose it. Especially the way that our current, I think, political, I don't know,
Climate.
our current attitude across
Yeah.
the U.S. is, if you don't exercise your right to vote, you may wake up one day and you won't have the right to vote anymore,
Yeah, I mean,
which is a scary proposition.
I do think it's important. I think it's important to vote, and just vote your conscience. If you want to go one way, and I think that is the beauty of this country, right?
But be informed and exercise your right to vote. For Texas, we know it's March 3rd.
Yeah.
We're going to vote
Look at your
early.
state for whatever the dates are for your
Yeah,
area.
don't wait till the last day. Vote early. Get the information. Stay informed, and drop us a line. Let us know if you've got feelings about Congressman Hunt or the guys he's running against, or who is going to be on the Democratic side that will potentially be his.
I think Jasmine Crockett right now is the name. I'm not really sure who else is running against her at this point.
There's two individuals, and I apologize, I don't remember the name other than Miss Crockett. But I think that Congressman Hunt he's eager to face any of the opponents,
Right,
and,
any of the three you said.
and set himself apart on why he should be the next congressman. I'm sorry, the next
Next
senator
he's a
from the great state of Texas.
Yay! Yeah,
Texas.
that's right, Texas.
So have a great day. Get informed, and please go out and vote
Don't forget to like, follow, and share.
and share.